World champion Bulls close the first quarter with a 6-0 run, and as we start the second, they're up 31-23. Dan Hicks is with us on the sideline today, and Dan, it looks like the Cleveland injury woes continue to mount over there.
That's right, Tom, as if the Cavaliers really need another injury. Bobby Phills got poked in the right eye. It happened in the first quarter, and he has been getting some attention from the trainers ever since. Here is where it happened, and he's been on the bench for most of the later end of the first quarter, getting some eye drops. He's been putting some ice on his eye as well. They tell me it won't affect his play, but we'll have to wait and see. Tom?
I don't know. It seemed like it would affect your play if you can't see. That eye is red. You can see it from here, and watering. You have to have a cut man as well as a trainer over there on an NBA bench these days. Ice on the eye of Bobby Phills, who started for Mike Fratello.
Gary Briggs, a long-time trainer for Cleveland, got his work cut out for him. He'll get it done.
Tony Kukoc came in for Scottie Pippen after Scottie picked up 2 quick fouls and dished out 6 assists. And there's English wide open at the rim.
And 7 assists now for Kukoc. The Bulls' second unit clicking beautifully today, the way they did prior to the All-Star game in the regular season.
Since Pippen left, the Bulls have outscored the Cavs 19-12.
Harold Wilkins really holding the ball a lot.
Nice move by Wilkins, who forces it to the hoop. Mark Price continues to rest on the Cavalier bench.
Give and go.
Pippen back in, lays it in from Kerr. 7 points for Scottie Pippen, despite some long stretches on the bench with 2 quick fouls.
This Bull team just represents a long tradition of great offensive basketball from the coaching staff. Phil Jackson, Tex Winter, John Bach. Give and go basketball. Very basic pass, fake away, come back. Chris Mills, young rookie out of Arizona. You got to step to the ball in that situation.
And Bobby Phills, watery eye and all, has returned to the Cavalier lineup as Ron Higgins sets an illegal screen, turning the ball over to Chicago. It's foul number 3 on Higgins. Kukoc backing Phills in, dishes to Whittington. Can't get the roll. Rebounded by Mills. Notes. It is Mills that brings it out and gives it up to Brandon. Surprised that Price is still on the bench?
Price only plays about 32 minutes a game in the regular season. Situation like this, I think he's got to go 48 minutes. What's he going to do, rest up for tomorrow?
Brandon with a quick outside shot. Terrell Brandon has 4. And the lead cut to 8. 2 minutes played in the second quarter from Chicago Stadium.
A weak side post.
And 1 as Wilkins commits the foul.
My favorite part of the triple post offense, the weak side pinch post. Scottie Pippen sees he's wide open, just steps in. The defense helpless. Beautiful ball movement.
The Warriors face the Suns. The NBA playoffs continue next on NBC.
The triple post offense, you got 3 guys on one side of the court here. Weak side action happening. I think you try to keep the ball over there, but when they swing it to the top, and weak side pinch post, stop it right there. Then you got action right there as Pippen slides right in. The defense not watching the ball, allowing Scottie Pippen to just waltz his way to the hoop.
He's the heir to Michael Jordan, and so far in the playoffs it has been Air Pippen, H-E-I-R, as he missed his first 3 shots today and has hit 4 in a row since. 9 points coming on the heels of that 31-point performance in Game 1.
Not only is Scottie Pippen capable of carrying this team to the championship, he's willing to. A lot of guys who have the skills don't want that responsibility. He enjoys it.
In fact, I think if you believe Phil Jackson's account, and no reason not to, that the only part of his newfound mega stardom that he doesn't enjoy is dealing with the press. Kempton fouled by Whittington.
Tim Kempton going to be the recipient of a nice pass by Terrell Brandon. Waits a little bit too long. Tough to shoot right in the guy's face like that. Like to see players use the jump hook in that situation.
Kempton, a big redhead from Notre Dame, a journeyman to say the least. Here is the litany of basketball teams that he has toiled for, and he has put a new standard on gluttony with his feat of eating a Whopper in one bite. That's his main claim to fame so far. Tim Kempton. He was just signed by the Cavs April 15th. They're glad they have him now with their numbers seriously depleted. Pippen posting up on Phils, and Bobby Phils whistled for the personal.
The beauty of the Bulls' second unit is the way they pass the ball around. Rarely touches the floor. No shots attempted really off the dribble except to beat the shot clock.
John Paxson in the game now, so 11 Bulls have played, and we have 9:20 left in the second quarter.
And I would assume that Cartwright won't play today unless it comes right down to the end. But he's just sitting over there resting those sore knees. They're trying to get something out of him in this playoff run.
Cartwright started game one, but played only 6 minutes, and the strategy is to save him as much as possible for a second round series.
Beautiful wraparound entry pass to the post.
Mills took it away from Kukoc. Then he is tripped. Let's see if that'll be 3 on Pippen.
Personal foul, Scottie Pippen, his third.
The triple team in the low post. Got to get rid of that ball before it gets there.
And Pippen with a trip, so a key point in the game. With 9:03 left in the second quarter, Scottie Pippen charged with his third foul.
And he was trying to get out of the way.
Quick shot by Brandon goes. Terrell Brandon has hit all 3 of his shots, and the Cavs are within 7.
Brandon and Price playing together, something that I thought that Fratello would go to. All their best players play the perimeter right now. Got to make some sort of changes.
Shot clock to 4. Kukoc. Kempton tipped it out. Here's Brandon on the Cav break. 3 on 2. Price drives on Kerr, and Steve Kerr commits the foul. So Mark Price coming back into the game for the Cavaliers, and immediately drawing a foul from Kerr.
Price will play the off guard now. Brandon will primarily handle it. But what Chicago is going to do is never leave Price to help out on penetration, help out in the low post. And Price got his work cut out for him. He's got to fight his way open off screens. Movement without the ball.
Scottie Pippen has left the game with 3 fouls for the Chicago Bulls.
Fine step out by Wennington that time.
Good catch by Phils, who spots Kempton wide open. Tim Kempton off the bench for 4 points as the Cavs inch closer.
Very similar to the game Friday night.
And Phil Jackson's going to try to regroup here with a timeout.
They have a situation where Chicago seems to be in perfect control, yet Cleveland hangs right in.
Cavaliers.
Until now, only one species commanded the water with such speed, agility, and style. The 1994 line of Sea-Doo
For the Bulls, but on the sideline right now with 3 fouls. An MVP-type season for him, though, this year as he stepped out of the shadow of Michael Jordan.
The years that I've played alongside Michael has definitely been years that I've, to some degree, been overshadowed. But I think, you know, I was always looked at as a guy who was very consistent and played the game well, had a lot of knowledge for the game. But when you got a guy like Michael out there, it's hard to look at someone else because you have so much good to say about a guy like him.
Scottie Pippen, a huge season this year. Career highs in 3 of those 4 statistical categories. The difference, though, between being consistently good and consistently great is what makes guys MVPs in the NBA.
Kicked ball, recycle a shot clock, and give it back to the Bulls. In the second quarter, the Cavs haven't missed a shot. They're 4 for 4.
And that thought about consistently great, that's what requires the incredible self-motivation that very few players have.
Williams double team, finds Kukoc.
Chicago forcing the defense of Cleveland to double team and then just picking apart with the fine passing.
Mills steps up. Rolled off, but Kempton with an offensive board. Tapped it to himself. And a Chicago foul. John Paxson, number 1. Tony Kukoc has done a good job for the Bulls. That was his first basket a moment ago, but 8 assists.
Kukoc does so many things well. He really didn't finish the season strong. A lot of disappointed basketball fans hoping that he would do better, but today he's on the money. Not how many points you score, it's how many points your team scores.
Price under some tough defense from Armstrong. Got it to Hill. It goes, and Tyrone Hill will have a chance for a three-point play.
Tyrone Hill sliding along the baseline again. Everybody for Chicago just forcing Mark Price to give it up. He's their leading scorer, Price is. They want to see what guys like Tyrone Hill, Tim Kempton, Chris Mills can do.
Well, Hill can do on that three-point play as Horace Grant committed the foul, and it's a 4-point Chicago lead.
I think Chicago's convinced that Tyrone Hill can do it. I'm not so sure they think that Phils, Mills, and Kempton can do it.
Fairly lifeless crowd, too, today. The crowd almost anticipating victory against a banged-up Cleveland team. Williams misses from in close. Mills with a board and an outlet to Brandon. Cleveland won the season series decisively against Chicago, 3-1. Brandon can't hit it. Kempton again kept it alive momentarily.
Beautiful tip by B.J. Armstrong.
Grant missed it. Williams is fouled.
Tom, you talked about the seeming confidence of the Chicago crowd, the Chicago players, but really the story of the Cleveland Cavaliers with Mike Fratello and Mark Price, they're key guys. That's always been overcoming adversity. These are two guys who have been told their whole lives that they don't belong in basketball. They're not good enough. They're not big enough. This is not their game. These guys have succeeded in the face of adversity their entire career. These guys can get it done.
Since a 7-14 start, since December 18th, they have gone 40-21 under Mike Fratello. And we asked him yesterday, he said, looking down at that bench, seeing all these top players in suits, do you want to go back with Marv Albert and become a broadcaster again? And he said, as bad as things are right now, they are not that bad to go back with Marv.
I think sitting next to Marv is pretty good.
Yeah, it sounded all right to me. Marv very graciously, I thought, told Mike that if he had an early exit from the playoffs, he could hang around with him and get coffee and stuff for the rest of the way. Kempton, as the shot clock expires, nails it from 15. Kempton has 6. Cavaliers down only 4 points.
Weak side, pinch post again, flash from the initial strong side, time and time again.
And Kukoc with another assist, 9 of them.
Top passers always watch the defense. As soon as they turn their head, they know their guys have got a break. Mismatch here, Brandon isolated.
Got by Kukoc, and then Grant swatted it away. 2-on-2 break. Kukoc, Armstrong got it.
And Horace Grant pushed his way up the court. I just can't believe that somebody would voluntarily leave doing something like this. Terrell Brandon down the lane, and Horace Grant taps it right out. keeps it in play. The swarming Bulls to the hoop, finishing nicely. Everybody handling it.
Time report will bring you highlights from the Knicks' 90-81 win over the New Jersey Nets. New York now leads that series 2-0. We'll also check in on the Houston-Portland series, which resumes tonight with the Rockets leading 1-0. And we'll profile Golden State rookie Chris Webber. His Warriors take on Phoenix in Game 3 of our NBC triple header later. Right now, back to Chicago as we rejoin Tom Hammond and Bill Walton. Tom?
Tony Kukoc passing through the man. He keeps the ball down low. That keeps the arms of the defense down. He's able to zip the ball right over the top to the slashing B.J. Armstrong, who quickly delivers.
And Tony Kukoc, a major factor, playing 14 minutes and recording a career-high 10 assists. In fact, Chicago has 18 baskets and 14 assists in the first half.
Shot clock.
The 4. Hill muscled it through, and Williams commits the foul.
It certainly wasn't pretty, but the result was perfect. The penetration, lots of guys handling it, swings from one side to the other, and Hill finishes up a little stutter step with the pound dribble.
And another big redhead, Luke Longley, into the game as Scott Williams becomes the second Bull in foul trouble. He joins Pippen with 3.
Foul trouble will be a much bigger problem for Cleveland. They're not in it. Sometimes when you're so overconfident, you get a little careless out there. You don't prepare yourself. The type of fouls that Pippen and Williams have had tonight, really a lack of preparation.
Do you sense Chicago being a little flat?
I sense that Chicago feels they can just turn it on and get it done at the hoop at any time.
Grant rolled 3 times and off. Wilkins for the Cavaliers. Kempton and Hill have scored Cleveland's last 10 points. Hill sets a screen for Wilkins. Gerald Wilkins.
The guy who's defending the screen has got to step up there. Cavs battle back to within 3. The crowd finally getting into it here.
Gerald Wilkins has 16 points.
I would double team him as often as you double team Mark Price.
Let Price go at this point. Longley. Armstrong. Kicks high into the arms of Gerald Wilkins.
Every player for the Bulls who handled it at that time, little peck dribble, allows the defense to be a little closer.
Cavs down only 3 as Wilkins backs in against Myers.
Well, where's the double team?
There it comes from Kukoc. He was late. Price made a good catch over Armstrong. Couldn't hit the bucket. Got his own. And a foul. Going to be a loose ball foul call. Luke Longley with 3.
Away from the ball, on the rebound. Longley battling for position. He got as much size as Longley has over Kempton. At least 4 or 5 inches, probably 20, 30 pounds. You don't need to have to foul there. Just use your hips a little bit.
No, isn't Longley one of your proteges?
Only when he plays well, Tom.
See, that's the way it works. Foul trouble for the Chicago Bulls. Longley has 3, and he'll go out of the game as Cartwright makes his first appearance. So Pippen, Williams, and Longley with 3 each. The only man in foul trouble for the Cavaliers, Rod Higgins, with 3. And Bill Cartwright, the 15-year veteran, is in for Chicago. Played only 6 minutes in game 1. Cartwright collects 50s memorabilia. The problem is he's old enough to have witnessed it in person.
I have worked with Luke Longley a lot, and this is a tremendous opportunity for him to come over from Minnesota. If he can't get it done here, then you really have to question whether he can get it done, because everything is in place for Luke Longley.
And you played against Bill Cartwright, who misses his first shot, but got his own rebound, and then Price picks his pocket. Price, bad pass right at the feet of Hill, but Chris Mills saves it.
Jumping in the air to pass. Normally, top players like Price, they stay on the ground the entire time except when they're shooting.
Mills behind the back, almost lost it. Shot clock at 3. Chris Mills just threw one up, and it hurt the Cavs that time.
It's the defense of Horace Grant, though, that forces the bad shot. Look, 3 guys there on Price. Anything to get him to give up the ball.
And he did. But Wilkins in the corner hits a 3. No, they say a 2, foot on the line. Fratello screaming for a 3, and they say a foot on the stripe. Still 18 first half points for Gerald Wilkins.
Nice pass.
Grant fouled by Kempton, and there's Kukoc involved in the play again with a good entry pass.
Wilkins' 3-point attempt and conversion. Looks like that foot is right on the line. Mike Fratello in the back. They all want 3. Can't talk these referees into anything, though.
I'm still waiting for the first one to change his mind when the coach lobbies. Horace Grant, that's his 9th point to go with 5 rebounds and 2 block shots. And Grant has made his feelings known about leaving the Bulls after this season. He will be an unrestricted free agent.
I think that would be a big mistake. He's on a championship situation here. Everything perfectly in place. Money doesn't buy you happiness. There is nothing better than being on a championship team.
Phil Jackson had a funny line about Horace Grant. We asked him about saying he wanted to play for Orlando next season. Price got the roll and will shoot a free throw. And just to finish the story, Jackson said, well, wherever Horace is playing is where he wants to go next.
There were a few exceptions, I think, to that.
He said he hasn't wanted to play in Dallas yet, but just about every place else he's mentioned. Mark Price, one of the best free throw shooters year in, year out in the NBA, and 5th in the free throw standings this season, will toe the line for a 3-point play and connects.
That last shot, though, by Price, that's the type of play he's very capable of making. He's got to be willing to take those difficult types of shots today because he's not going to get any easy ones.
Game tied for the first time since 7-all, and we have less than a minute and a half to play in the first half from Chicago Stadium.
Cleveland's defense upping its intensity.
Myers pulls up and scores. Pete Myers.
Cleveland will have a much better chance of winning this game if they can continue to force Chicago to take shots like that. It went down, but shots off the dribble generally don't win ball games unless you're Michael Jordan.
Final minute of the first half. Price baseline. Reverse, no good. Grant clears it. Cleveland gets back very well on defense as Armstrong brings it into front court.
Price was slow getting back. They didn't take advantage. A lot of excessive dribbling by Chicago at this point.
Armstrong hammered. Will step to the line. Just over 29 seconds left in the second quarter.
But again, the tempo has shifted from the early Chicago style with ball movement. Kukoc getting all those assists, very little dribbling. Now Cleveland forcing Chicago into making it happen off the dribble.
Excellent free throw shooting, and the Cavaliers have gotten 15 free throws to 10 for Chicago. That's number 11. It rims out for Armstrong. English for the Bulls will give Cartwright a breather as Phil Jackson goes to a small lineup.
Trying to get defenders on the floor as Cleveland will undoubtedly hold for one last shot.
And a 20-second timeout called by the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Cleveland in this situation, they'll try to get Price or Brandon on the run. Spot up Wilkins, who's been red hot for jumpers. Have the big guys out there. What Chicago, I think, should try to do, try to trap early, try to get Cleveland, get the ball out of Price's hands. Guard every point, 30 points, 40 points. You've done your job, even if you can't get it yourself.
Price gets it back quickly from Kempton. Dangerous pass. He got away with it. The strategy continues to pressure Mark Price at all times.
He's really getting caught in the air a lot.
Shot clock on the left, game clock on the right. Wilkins tried to whip it inside to Kenton, ill-advised, and picked off by Myers. Kukoc runs the floor for the easy one. A disastrous turn of events for the Cavaliers, who are hoping to get the final shot.
If Kukoc can continue to play like this throughout the playoffs, watch out for the Chicago Bulls.
Well, at one point of the first half, the Chicago Bulls built an 11-point lead. Cleveland came back, but Tony Kukoc, already a career-high assist, leading the Chicago attack, and they're up by 5. Now stay tuned for the Prudential halftime report, coming up right after these messages.